so we've got our paper on. Next we're going to adhere our mat. Try and line that up. That looks about right. I'll give that a little trim. Just got a little bit of an edge there. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to stamp and mask our sentiment. So it's a fairly simple card. So first thing we do is we get our mystery stamping tool out. This thing is absolutely invaluable and well used, as you can see. So I have ordered some extra magnets for it, as I find I like to have all four corners held down, simply because when you're using photopolymer stamps, it does tend to lift the paper a little bit, so I find if I use the four, it keeps it under control a bit better. So we have this Simon Says stamp set. I have to find I think it's called Bundled Up. Warm Wishes, my apologies. So what I've done is I've taken the two mittens out of the stamp set. Actually, I've got those upside down. And just kind of put them together as if they were to hold the mug. Then I kind of wanted to place the mug in between them just to make sure that the placement was right. And that looks pretty good. I'll take those off. I think I want to give this one a little more angle. There we go. And voila, paper stays in place. So I am coloring them, therefore I need to use Memento ink to stamp this. And the beauty about it is it's not flat. So again, I do apologize. This is the first time I've set my tripod up, so it's a little bit in the way, but work with me. Okay, so we didn't get quite a good inking. So we'll just keep going here until we get a really good impression. There we go. You can do this, and I've done this before. People laugh at me, don't care. Do it the way you're comfortable doing it. Also love my Lawn Fawn cloth. This thing works like a hot damn. Originally, when I purchased it, I thought, oh, it can't be that great. So I thought, well, the price point, it was a little pricey, I thought, for a cloth. I've actually bought ones like this at the Body Shop, the exact same material, for I think half the price. So going forward, once this one is kind of done, I think that's what I might do. They're like a face wash kind of thing. They're actually a little bit larger, but it's the same material. So I imagine it would work the same way. So stay tuned. If I do end up getting one and using it and it works great, I'll let you guys know. So then we want to make a mask. Now I did make a mask earlier, but I can't seem to find it. So we'll just go ahead. Oh, here's part of it. There we go. That's one mitten. And as you can see, I didn't do the entire thing because, quite frankly, the bottom really doesn't matter. And here's the other. Perfect. So I don't have to make another one. So all I did was, most of you probably familiar with the method, just stamp it out on some Post-it note paper. I keep a couple different sizes. I have the smaller ones and the larger ones, which are really great for making masks. And then you just cut out what you need, cover it up, put your other stamped image down, and make sure that's lined up. Get those out of the way. I like to give it a little rub in the middle after I'm done to make sure that it's flat, because you don't want an uneven. Oh, here's my large Post-it full stick. So we'll give that a stamp. Actually, that looks pretty good, but I'll give it one more for good measure. Perfect. And last but not least, we want to put our swirl inside the cup. Now I may experiment. This is actually a really cool set. This is the, sorry, I apologize. This is the set from My Next Stamp. I believe it's called, doesn't say what it's called. Cup of Cheer. And it comes with coordinating dies too. This is super, super cute. It's got all these little, sorry about that, all these little sayings, and then there's the different kinds of cups, and then there's like marshmallows you can put inside, a little splash, some whipped cream, some other marshmallows, a straw, a spoon, you know, on and on and on. So I think that's just adorable myself. So I have this little tiny, tiny stamp I'm going to use instead of just going and using my Misty again. And perfect. Perfect little swirl. Let me just zoom in so you can see that. And once I remove my mittens, there you go. You've got a cute little scene. Now, I will have to use, looks like I got a bit too much ink on that part, but that's okay. I'll have to use my Copic liner just to outline a little bit. Looks like there's still a few areas. I couldn't ink it properly because my Misty is sitting at a weird angle to accommodate my tripod here, so not a big deal. If you don't have Copic liners, there's lots of other markers out there that'll do the same job. I believe Memento actually makes one. Tombow does too, but I'm not sure how well it works with Copics. So you might want to test it before you try it and possibly ruin a project. So that looks pretty good. Give that a little mug handle in there. I quite like how this stamp turned out better than the other one because you can see a little bit more. You can see a little bit more of the handle as opposed to down here. Here there's a little bit more showing, so I kind of like that. I find it fun actually doing multiple cards because usually the first time you do one, you iron out the kinks and you're like, oh, okay, I'll do it this way this next time. I actually meant to do the marshmallows in it this time, but forgot. Oh well, swirls look cute, I think, anyway. And we can do our sentiment. Last but not least. Now if you want, if you're more comfortable, you can do it with the Misty. You're guaranteed to get it lined up. But again, I don't think that's necessary. It's not a very long sentiment, so I think I should be able to get it just right. And with sentiments, I tend to use either a VersaFine or Lawn Fawn licorice, black licorice ink, because I just find you get more of a crisp lettering. So anything that you want a crisp image of, I definitely would stay away from the Memento. That's why I like to use the Memento on my Misty so that I can stamp multiple times and make my lines a little bit heavier. Okay, so for the gloves, or rather the mittens, we're going to go in with an R12 R24 first, wrong side. And I'm just going to color it in, give it that good base color. My favorite combination of red is R24, R29, and the R39. I find for me, everyone has kind of their preference, but for me that's my absolute favorite. And I also want to do just one mitten at a time because Copics work better if, and I keep doing that, sorry, Copics tend to work better if the ink is still a little bit wet. So you want to go around, give it that kind of illusion of being rounded. Same thing on thumb. And then of course there's a little bit of a shadow in there. And then I'll go in with my darkest color. I think I put my markers down wrong. I'm used to grabbing them that way. Apologies. Again, still trying to work out the kinks here, so I appreciate your patience. So I like how that's turning out. And then we'll just go back in with the R24 and kind of blend it out and give it a more of a seamless look. See, and already looks beautiful. So then we'll do the next one. So up here, I like this set from Simon Says Stamp with the gloves because it's got a little bit of a sketched look to it. And typically I don't go for that kind of stamp set, but this time, I don't know, something about this one that I really, really liked. I like the hat in it, I like the scarf. It attracted me. Now, funny thing is, I ordered this off of Simon Says Stamp probably a year ago, and today was actually the first time I've ever used it. So this year, I've kind of, my New Year's Eve resolution, as it were, is to start using papers and stamps and inks and things like that I haven't been. I've been bad. And I think we're all a little bit guilty of, you know, buying a bunch of stuff, oh, it looks shiny, it looks pretty, and then bringing it home and not using it. So I kind of wanted to stop doing that and actually use what I've got. Nothing says I can't get more, but, you know, you really need to not waste money and use what you've got. So part of the series that I wanted to do for my YouTube is to go back and use older stamps. I know a lot of card makers nowadays, their card designs are a lot of the latest and greatest and newest and shiny and ooh, but you know, there's something to be said. We do spend a lot of money buying sets, buying stamps, buying dies, buying colors. So it's really a shame when we don't use them. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to put out a video that shows older sets. I'll try and stay away from stuff that's discontinued, but still and yet, even if I do use something that's discontinued, hopefully someone out there has it and it gives them an idea of how to kind of freshen up their stamping closet. I did go outside the lines a little bit there, so I'm going to just take my colorless blender and try and push that back ever so slightly. So I do apologize. Usually I'm not used to demonstrating stuff for people when I stamp. I'm a little more concentrated. So if I seem like I'm all over the place, that's because I am. So we're going to have our light source coming from that side. So what I did was I took a C3, which is a lighter C, and just gave it a little shadow around the edge. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in. Take that off and bring it up. And see, it just gave it a little bit of shadow along the edge, but I want it to remain white, so I didn't want to color that in completely. And eventually we'll go over it with the Wink of Stella and give it a nice shimmery look. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up, but it looks, I assure you, it looks stunning. Alright, let's move that up a bit. Now for my chocolate, I'm using an E27 because I want this to be hot chocolate. And the name of the color is milk chocolate, so I thought that was perfect. So I'm just going to do down the bottom and that little splash outside. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to take an E29, which is a burnt umber, and just give it a little shadow in the corner. Nothing much. And then do a little bit on the bottoms of those drips just to give it some dimension. Perfect. Now for my mug, I actually did warm grays. I didn't want the color of the mug to kind of be the star or take away from the picture. The mittens rather are the star of the show. So I kind of wanted to highlight those and use a very bright kind of Christmassy color. So that they stood out. And that was a W1. Now we're going to go for a W3. So that's your warm gray 3. And just get a little bit of shadow going on. From this side. So I want my light source coming from here. And a little bit there and down the bottom. Perfect. And I'll take my darkest gray, which is a W6, and just go back in and give it some cast shadow. So what that does is it just picks out that extra bit of highlight. Makes it look more rounded, more three-dimensional, more realistic. And then go back with my W3. I may need a darker W. And my W1 to blend it all out. So I want to try and make this seamless. I don't want it to look colored where you have a color line stop, so you really want to try and push those colors together and make it look like one cohesive picture. Kind of like that. So I'm pretty happy with it, other than, again, this red that's driving me bananas. But I'll just keep working that out, working that out, working it out. And in the meantime, I'll grab my card base and just stick that on there with a little bit of tape runner. Make sure that it's lined up. There we go. Oh, I almost forgot my steam. I have some steam, or what I call steam, here. It's probably more like a swirly cue. I'm sure you could use it for multiple purposes, but I think for this, it would look good. This is Stampin' Up! Basic Gray ink. And I think for this, it works. And then we just put it a little bit above. So it kind of gives a little color to that. I know gray isn't a color, but color to that empty space. And now I'm just going to take my wink of Stella, there it is, hiding, and do this little cuffs on the mittens, and do the other mitten, and I also wanted to do the hot cocoa. And that's it. There you have it. Warm wishes, and then you can put whatever sentiment you like in there. I actually added this one here from Stampin' Up! And then on the back I always add a little personalized stamp. So this one here is from Technique Tuesday. I love this set to personalize your stamps. And there you go. There's your winter card. Very simple and easy. Well, thank you so much for watching my YouTube. Hopefully I'll have more videos, and next time it'll be a little bit more seamless. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.